Ever wondered if luck could be the main architect of someone's success? Imagine a world where blunders are mistaken for brilliance, where an individual's incompetence is seen as ingenuity. Welcome to the curious case of Lord Arthur Scoresby, a decorated English military hero whose life is a testament to the baffling power of luck. We delve into the year 1886, where Mark Twain unravels the tale of Lord Scoresby, first published in Harper's Magazine and later found a place in the anthology Merry Tales. The story meanders its way across the Atlantic, making its first British appearance in 1900 in the collection The Man That Corrupted Hadleyburg. Now let's shift our gaze to our protagonist, Lord Arthur Scoresby. He is a man of great esteem, a renowned figure in the English military, but with a twist. Scoresby, for all his decorations and accolades, is a total idiot. Yes, you heard that right. An absolute fool who, despite his clear incompetence, is celebrated as a military genius. At a banquet in London, the narrator observes Scoresby's lack of intelligence and knowledge. But isn't it peculiar that everyone around him misinterprets his performance, taking his blunders for military genius? Every false step he makes, every error, only enhances his reputation. The irony is rich, almost laughable. Scoresby, our unlikely hero, is no strategic mastermind, no courageous warrior. He is simply a man who has luck on his side. A man who stumbles, bumbles, and fumbles his way through life. Yet, each of these mistakes is seen as a stroke of genius. Perhaps it's the universe playing its own game, or maybe it's just fate having a laugh. But one thing is clear. Lord Arthur Scoresby is a living, breathing paradox. A man whose success is built not on skill or intelligence, but on the unpredictable whims of luck. And so, we find our unlikely hero, bumbling his way through life, his every mistake seen as a stroke of genius. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the fascinating tale of Lord Arthur Scoresby, the unexpected hero, whose triumphs are merely the byproduct of fortuitous happenstance. In the heart of the Crimean War, the stage was set for Scoresby's most famous blunder. The Crimean War, a complex conflict that flared in the mid-19th century, found a bewildering participant in the figure of Captain Lord Arthur Scoresby. A stage where nations clashed over territories and religious rights, the war was a grand chessboard of intricate strategies and high stakes. Here Scoresby, with his well-documented incompetence, was not just a pawn, but a captain. Our unlikely hero, Scoresby, found himself in the thick of this tumultuous conflict, commanding troops and making decisions that could change the course of history. His role was not a minor one. His decisions, his actions, they were meant to be calculated, precise, and strategic. But Scoresby, bless his heart, was anything but. His lack of understanding of basic military tactics was glaring, his blunders almost legendary. Yet he was a captain, leading men into battle, his every move watched and followed. This was a time of unprecedented chaos and danger. The war was no child's play. Lives were at stake, nations' futures hung in the balance. Amid all this, Scoresby's incompetence could have led to disastrous consequences. His blunders, instead of being comical, could have been catastrophic. One wrong move, one mistaken command, and it could all come crumbling down. But here's the twist in our tale. Scoresby, for all his ineptitude, had an uncanny knack for turning the tide in his favor. His blunders, instead of leading to disaster, led to unexpected victories. His mistakes were mistaken for military genius. His lack of strategy was seen as unconventional warfare. His incompetence, inexplicably, became his greatest asset. But as we've seen, Scoresby had a knack for turning even the most dire of situations into victories. His story serves as a strange, yet fascinating reminder of how luck can often defy logic and how success can sometimes be found in the most unlikely of places. With the battle raging on, Scoresby would soon make a mistake that would cement his legacy. Picture this: Scoresby, our unlikely hero, stands at the helm of his troops, bracing against the biting cold of the Crimean front. The tension is thick, the air heavy with anticipation and the scent of gunpowder. In the heat of the moment, Scoresby's hand fumbles. He meant to direct his men to a strategic advantage point on his right. Instead, his left hand rises, and the troops, trusting in their captain, follow suit. They veer off in the wrong direction, charging away from the planned course of action. The absurdity of the situation is palpable. Here we have an entire battalion, led astray by a man who can't tell his right from his left. The blunder is colossal, and yet, as fate would have it, this very mistake would be the turning point of the battle. Unbeknownst to Scoresby and his men, they were charging straight into a Russian force. The Russians, caught off guard by this unexpected assault, are thrown into disarray. Panic spreads like wildfire among their ranks, their formation breaks, and soon they are in full retreat. Meanwhile, Scoresby's men, oblivious to their captain's mistake, press on, their spirits buoyed by the sight of the retreating enemy. The battlefield echoes with triumphant roars, the air is thick with victory. The Allies have won, thanks in no small part to Scoresby's erroneous directions. In the pages of history, this day would be written as a decisive victory for the Allies, a turning point in the Crimean War. The name of Lord Arthur Scoresby would be forever etched in golden letters, his blunder hailed as a stroke of genius. From the outside looking in, it was a masterstroke, a tactical maneuver of the highest order. But we know better, don't we? We know it was a simple mix-up, a man's inability to distinguish his left from his right. A mistake that, against all odds, led to victory. And just like that, Scoresby's biggest blunder turned into his greatest triumph. What happens when a fool's mistake is seen as a stroke of genius? Imagine the scene. The dust of the battlefield has barely settled, and the echoes of gunfire still linger in the air. Amidst all this, Captain Scoresby, our decorated hero, stands tall, his blunder having led to an unexpected victory. The irony is rich, almost palpable, as the military realm erupts in applause for his so-called strategic masterpiece. Scoresby's misstep, his confusing right for left, had led his men in the wrong direction, straight into a surprised Russian force. But instead of ending in disaster, it sparked panic amongst the enemy ranks, sending them into a hasty retreat. A blunder had morphed into a triumph, and the Allies had their victory. And what was the reaction? Did they see Scoresby for the fool he was? No. Instead, they celebrated him, hailed him as a genius, a master of unconventional warfare. They saw strategy where there was none, attributed cunning where there was only confusion. The more they lauded him, the more his reputation grew, the more his legend spread. Scoresby, the man who had once been a mere captain, was now a decorated military hero. His name was known far and wide, his exploits recounted with awe and admiration. His blunders, now seen as strokes of genius, were studied, dissected, and discussed in military academies. His tactics, born out of sheer incompetence, became the stuff of legend. The world loves a hero, and Scoresby, in all his clueless glory, had become just that. He was a beacon of hope, a symbol of victory, a testament to the power of luck. He was the fool who had become a genius, the idiot who had become a hero, and all it took was a wrong turn, a moment of confusion, a simple mix-up between right and left. And so Scoresby's legacy as a military genius was sealed, all thanks to a mix-up between his right and left. So, what can we take away from Scoresby's tale of luck and success? As we journey back through this remarkable story, we can't help but marvel at the strange dance of fate and fortune that played out in the life of Lord Arthur Scoresby. This man, who was, by all accounts, a complete fool, managed to stumble his way to success and renown on the battlefield, all thanks to an uncanny streak of luck. Scoresby's tale is an intriguing exploration of the themes of luck and success. It challenges our conventional understanding of these concepts and forces us to reconsider our own perceptions. Success, as we see in Scoresby's case, doesn't always stem from skill or intelligence. Sometimes it's the result of happenstance, of being in the right place at the right time, or of making a blunder so colossal that it's mistaken for genius. The irony in this story is deliciously rich. Here we have a man who, in spite of his glaring incompetence, is hailed as a military genius. His blunders are interpreted as brilliant strategies, his mistakes as calculated risks. Every wrong step he takes somehow propels him further along the path of success, and all the while, he remains blissfully unaware of his own ineptitude. This tale, in its essence, is a mirror held up to society and its often misguided perceptions of success and competence. It forces us to question whether we, too, are guilty of misinterpreting luck as skill, of mistaking the fortunate for the accomplished. How many Scoresbys exist in our world today, basking in the glow of undeserved adulation, while the truly talented remain in the shadows? Perhaps in the end, it's not about being the smartest or the most skilled, but simply being in the right place at the right time. What are your thoughts on this? Share them in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more thought-provoking stories like this one.